Hi and welcome to another writing walk. I'm Susanna, indie author and freelance book formatter from Finland. I'm in the middle of publishing an urban fantasy short story. It's coming out August 15th, and I'm editing the fourth draft of my current work in progress, which I'm calling Project Prehistory. I haven't updated you on how either of those projects is going since early June, I think. But before I do that, let me tell you what my plans are for today. So this is where I usually edit, excuse the mess. Comfy couch, laptop in my lap, books around me, and a nice view. It is a nice view, there are no other buildings blocking it, but my windows are full south and it gets really hot in here in summer. Also, this is Europe. There's no air conditioning. So today I'm escaping to a place where there should be air conditioning to try and see if a change in scenery makes a difference in my editing process. And I'm taking you with me. I'm going to the nearest library. There are these group rooms that you can reserve for free for up to 2 hours, and I've reserved one for myself. Vlogging in public, so I didn't speak anything, but I'm home now. So here's a little update where I'm currently at. Yesterday I finished editing scene 1 of chapter 20. The manuscript has 39 chapters, so that was exactly the midpoint. The first scene of chapter 20 is half of the chapter. Today in the library I edited scene 2. That was a very short transition scene. It was only around 200 words. And then I started scene 3, which is also the last scene of the chapter. That's a lot longer. I edited 630 words. There's around 1100 words left, although I'm hoping to delete around 100 words. So it was surprisingly easy. I rarely edit over 800 words in less than 2 hours. I was afraid that I would get distracted, especially as the room had a little window to the rest of the library and I could see people walking by, but on the other hand I did not have all the distractions that I have at home. And the other thing is that the chapter was very easy to edit, so I didn't really need those distractions. So all in all, this was a successful experiment. It would be interesting to try it with a bit more difficult chapter to see how I would fare then. As you saw, I also picked up some books from the library. The first book I picked is Tilly and the Book Wanderers by Anna James. This is a middle grade book about a girl who travels in the books. One of my favorite books from last year was Tennessee Pollett's Wildwood Revisited, which is a young adult or new adult book. It's about a woman who lives in a post-World War I London and deals with the grief and trauma by escaping into books. I really love the concept, so I'm hoping that I will love this book as well. Also, another reason why I picked this up is that in my book bingo, one of the items is reading a middle grade book, so this book fits the slot. The second book I picked up is A Thousand Heartbeats by Kiera Cass. This was on the young adult fantasy shelf. I had to Google it to check that I don't accidentally pick a second or third book in a series, but apparently this is a standalone. And the third book is Melanie C's Who I Am. I just recently read Jerry Halliwell's What If, so I'm interested in seeing how Melanie describes her years in Spice Girls. And this is also research for a potential novel idea. And finally, I picked a DVD, Crazy Rich Asians. I hope this will be fun. I was hoping to find Pride and Prejudice, the Bollywood retelling of Pride and Prejudice, but they didn't have it. So I think for the 7th challenge of Jane Austen July, I will be watching Clueless. But now I think it's time to get back to work and continue editing scene 3. It's 2 days later. In the last clip you saw me finish chapter 20. I did delete about 100 words, so now that chapter is around the same length as the others. Yesterday evening I read chapter 21, so now I'm ready to start editing it. But before that, there's that other writing and publishing project I mentioned. In the Shadow of Death is an urban fantasy short story that is coming out August 15th. It takes partly place in the modern world and partly in the underworld, and I guess I could describe it as a heartbreaking love story. It's around 5,000 words long, so little over 10 pages, not a very long story. I'll make a separate video on the whole writing and publishing process, but what I've done so far is I wrote the first draft during NaNoWriMo in November. I edited the second draft during Camp Nano in April, and after that first round of self-edits, the short story was ready for publication, so I sent it to an editor to be aligned and copy edited. And in July, I finalized the cover, I formatted the ebook, I've uploaded it to Caytee and set up the pre-order, and I've also sent it to ARC readers to get some early reviews. So more info coming later, but I'm excited to share the cover and the blurb with you. She said she'd walk to hell and back for me. Little did I know, she meant literally. Robin and Jamie have it all. A loving marriage, a beautiful home, and a successful pottery shop. But when death snatches one of them to the underworld, they are faced with a heartbreaking decision that will change their lives forever. How far are they willing to go to save each other? Inspired by the myth of Castor and Pollux, this urban fantasy short story explores the themes of grief and loss, and love's power to conquer everything. So if that sounds interesting, there's a pre-order link in the description. But now, let's get back to editing. string of hostas. That's how it's doing right now. It lost all its vines except one, but that at least is making new leaves, so I'm hoping I get to keep it alive a bit longer. The outdoors temperature is clearly wrong. It's around 25 degrees Celsius, but when I said that it was hot indoors, I was not lying. Chapter 21 has 5 scenes. Today I edited scenes 1 and 2. In total I edited 1449 words, and I also deleted about 150 words. That means that I have 3 scenes left. I probably won't be able to finish chapter 21 this week, but at least I'm well and truly past the midpoint now. Anyway, if you enjoyed this vlog, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to check out In the Shadow of Death if you want to read a heart-wrenching urban fantasy short story. And I'll see you in my next video.